What's going on, guys? Welcome back to some more Apocalypse Rising 2. Today I'll be showing you guys how to get geared up relatively quickly. And now you can just kill people, that's the easiest way to go about it, but I'm going to be showing you guys based off of spawn locations. And these spawn locations are all the common ones I picked out, so it's going to be relatively simple. Starting off between Eden and Refugee Camp, I'd highly recommend going right to Eden and checking the church. It has some pretty decent stuff in the crate right there. And also the attics of Eden, of the barns, have some pretty decent loot too. I've gotten Mac 10s here and I've gotten a bar here. It's a pretty good way to start out. Nothing crazy obviously, but I rarely ever see people up at Eden. It's just a good way to start out. If you spawn near Mansion and Lockport, go right to Mansion because of the vast supply of Soviet crates. You can easily find an AK-47 or an SKS to start you out, and an AK is not a bad gun at all. As long as you know how to master the recoil, you're pretty much good. But also check the bedroom as it spawns the rare AK-74 and AKS-74U. If you head up to the attic, you'll find an equipment case and another Soviet weapon crate. Now this is one of my least favorite spawns right between Eden and Salem. There's really nothing around it, so I would just recommend going to Volcano and checking the Helicrash, because the Helicrash has the chance to spawn a G3 and also an M16, and an M16 is not a bad way to start off. You can also check this pickup truck here on the way up to the facilities. It usually spawns something good in there. In the facilities, the biggest one has a back room that always spawns a shotgun, and usually it spawns a sight in that yellow case right there, and you can find a backpack in one of the crates. There are tons of chances to find hatchets there, so you can get a better melee weapon. But if not, just go right to the Mosin spawn because you have a chance to find obviously the Mosin, and you can also check the bed because it can spawn a decently sized backpack. If you spawn near Beaufort, you have tons of options to go to, but I would first check this little brown house above the hill. It's like a storage shed. It does have a chance to spawn a bar. Also go down to the police station, and there is a yellow crate right before the stairs. It has a chance to spawn a sight, but it is highly rare. But if you go down to the basement where their weapon crates are, you have a chance to find M16 to get you started. Also go head up top of the church and check if there's a Makarov. You have a chance to find a Makarov or an SKS in that Soviet crate. And across the way in the farm fields, there's a Helicrash. You can get some rations there and medkits to start you off. And there also is a Special Forces crate there that does spawn some decently good guns. Right next to Beaufort, between Regional and Beaufort, you can go right to Regional because it also has a ton of options. And if you go right to the library, but if you don't know where the library is, it's on the west side of the terminal if you check the map. It has two Soviet weapon crates, which do have a chance to spawn an AK or an SKS. I usually get lucky and get AKs pretty much almost every time. But if you go on top of the terminals in these like tunnel areas here, there is a military outpost with a bunch of crates. You can also go top of the airport control tower. There are a few crates up there, but also there are 3 tents in the middle of the runway. You can also check for some quick guns. So right next to Fairview, there is a little house with a bunker inside of it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can also check out my secret locations video. I will link it right now. But it does spawn some decently good guns, and there's always a vintage pack that spawns right on that shelf here. But you can also go to Fairview to the gun shop because there are tons and tons of crates in there. M16s are pretty much common in this place, and there's also a chance to spawn a bar in the weapon crates right there, and there's also just crappy guns in that case there. If you spawn right at Lulu, this is literally the best spawn in the game in my opinion. There's a house right in front of you that usually spawns a bar or an M1 Grand, and there's also safe in the back with a secondary. But if you head up to the old chapel, you have 2 Soviet weapon crates with a chance to spawn an SKS, an AK-47, or an AK-74, and I have been finding AK-74s like crazy. But you can also head down to the bunker on the left side of the chapel of where you spawned, and there's also 2 surplus weapon crates, M3A1s, and bars spawn there. The bed usually spawns a rifle case or a weaved basket pack, and there's also a house right in front of the bunker that has a huge safe. If you spawn near a radio station, obviously you can climb the radio tower, and also check the red building right next to it because there's like a little military outpost there with a few crates and a Special Forces crate. But head up to the motel, but I accidentally ran into some people that I thought ended up being one guy, but another one just randomly came out and jumped on top of the military tent. I clutched up and killed both. Then I got hungry and got some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But I would check the 2 military tents right in front. They can have some decent stuff in it. And also check the rooms of the motel because some of them actually have some Soviet weapon crates, and you can find an AK like I did here. If you spawn right between Coastal and Ashland, you can go to the German infantry base and kill one of the infantry zombies, and they will obviously drop you an MP40. If you don't know where that is, I highly recommend checking out my secret locations video. If you head over to the coastal bunkers and head all the way down to the basin where the Soviet base is, there's going to be a bunch of Soviet crates down there. You have a chance to find an AK, SKS, and there's a rare crate there. You can find the PKM. So this spawn is literally a no-brainer. It is next to coastal bunkers, you can go there, but I would just highly take the risk and go right to naval, because you can get geared up pretty fast there, but just watch out for the zombies, because they can absolutely maul you to death. And one of my most hated spawns, Mackinaw Island, literally just go to mines, check the military tents there, also go in the mines and check for the Browning or M1919, whatever you want to call it. And I'd also go to Smuggler's Airstrip because it has a little bit of crates there, but also check the town nearby. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This took a long time to make and my voiceovers absolutely suck, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This has been Zach, and have a nice day.